Hey everybody, it's Steve with Outreach Fabrication. Just wanted to give a little update on the shop, the truck, and projects that are coming along. Right here we got an onboard air system setting up on the dually. Currently have the head off, about to do a little machine work on it. The way it sits now, it interferes with the hood. So we're going to take it down a little bit, try to make it a little bit cleaner. Some of the intake piping we did on it. So we got the Jeep over here on the lift. Everything built right here in the shop. Help with me and my friends. So give a little tour underneath the Jeep. What all's going on underneath here? Not many people get to see it from this angle. So we got 14-inch coilovers with the DSC adjusters on the rear. Limit strap. Arctec truss on a 14 bolt. I got a lunchbox locker in it, 5 13 gears. Aluminum lower links, DOM upper links. Curry rock joints on the front, upper and lower of the links. The rear have fresh heims in them. It got pretty sloppy there for a little while. You can see you got Fox, so at 2.0, I don't know what size they are, but they're Fox air bumps, TK1 sway bar. Stock fuel tank, it's pretty small, 16 gallons. I don't know, I like the stock tank. It's got a few dents in it here and there. You see the filter regulator for the Corvette, which is being used for my bypass and my LS fuel setup. While we're back here, we'll go ahead and cover a few other little details that nobody gets to see. You can see the pads for the bump stops to land on. Actually use those. They're all tied in. That's how we strap it down on the trailer. The hook actually goes up through here just fine. A little detail protecting the brake lines from the potential if a rock got in here with the fuel tank. You see the fuel tank's got quite a few dents, but hey, it still works. There's no trash in it. One day I'll put something bigger and different, but not anytime soon. You can see where the cage is tied into the frame and the body mounts. Try to give it as much strength in the corners as I can. It's also poly isolated, which I wish I hadn't done that. Wish I'd just gone a rigid mount with aluminum bushings. You can see the detail for how we mounted the sway bar. Sway bar is a lot of fun. This thing is a lot of fun in the woods. If y'all hadn't seen it, hit me up for a ride sometime. As the months start to warm up and we start to go to events, we'll be raffling off rides in the Jeep. It's a blast, I promise. Dana 300 transfer case. I go through these, I don't know, about once a year. I broke a couple cases, but nothing major. Hence, you can see the extra bracing that ties in the frame to the case. I broke a couple of transmissions. Thanks to my buddy Steel Clifford for putting my new U-joints in so I didn't have to fight with it while I could do other tasks. All nice and shiny, clean for now. 4L60 trans. It's been built, I think 4 times by the same trans builder. Most of the failures are due to me not having a trans temp gauge and poor shift tuning. Hence I learned on my own what HP Tunes is about and started setting my own shift points, working with the local speed shops. It's got a Yank 3000 stall billet converter, 9-inch, with the lockup feature for when you get on the highway. By the way, this thing will do 80 miles an hour all day long, nice and smooth. When you get up in the 90 and the 100 though, it gets to floating a little bit more than I like, but whatever, that's still fun. So we're on to the front now. You see I hadn't upgraded the links on the front yet, same as the rear, but it's coming. Limit straps in the front. They're set about an inch shorter to prevent the shocks from over traveling. It's an ugly looking brake line, steel braided line, but it's been on there for years and doesn't give me any problems. I do keep spares on the Jeep. upper link. You see how it ties into the frame. I've got adjustment with it. Comes down to another Arctech bracket. I love the Arctech stuff. You can just buy it and weld it on. It's so much better. Everything still takes some tweaking, but it's nice to have something already pretty to begin with. Again, bump pads for the front, air bumps in the front. See my steering setup with the heims and for support. A little bit of detail on the engine mounts. Make sure I had room for my upper link to go up in there. Everything is super tight on this. I wanted to keep everything as stock as I could and still get hot rod performance out of it. Like details like this, that's my grounds. There's multiple grounds to everything. The engine, the cage. Try to keep the wiring nice and neat. That's not my strong point, but we offer it. And you can see where the grounds are tied into the cage. Again, how the cage is tied in, fish plated, and it's tied into the stock body mounts to get better triangulation for support. Didn't want the exhaust hanging down. I hate that when it's just hanging below the frame rail. Went through the frame rail with the exhaust. Running 2.5-inch MagnaFlows right now with my ugly freaking turn down out the back, but I had to do that to get the gases out from underneath it with the new soft top and keeping it all closed up. Soon we're going to be upgrading to full 3-inch exhaust. Yes, it'll still fit through the hole in the frame. And we'll be building headers, obviously, for this. We're going to try to do tri-wise with probably 1 7/8 primaries, with plans for larger engines in the future. Same size engine, but lots more cubic inches of stroke. So as you can see, I have multiple freaking coolers underneath here, hidden. So trans cooler, the closest one to you is a trans cooler. The one furthest away is the power steering cooler. Just the latest project with this was hard lines as much as I could do where they're seen. Lots of work in here, but it pays off. It's lots of fun. You can see front end, all new tie rod ends, same tie rods. Give you a little secret. All the DOM tubing you see in the steering is actually satin clear coated. So I'm trying to preserve that look. I'm still fighting with actually painting this whole vehicle like a gray undercarriage with the factory paint coat on the outside. I just hadn't made up my mind yet. See the panhard gusset details where I notched it out for the bump stop canisters. You can see the new radiator, the new McMahon 200 amp alternator, the frame tie-ins. All the tube work started as raw, straight tube. It's all my design. I worked with the engineer, a good friend of mine, Brad Riley, helped me out a lot with understanding the mechanical stresses from other than what I've learned as being a welder for many years, actually being able to talk to a mechanical engineer about the best way to go about plating a frame. You can see here, these are actually the old leaf spring mounts from when I first put full width axles underneath it. And to be honest, I kind of leave them on there just as a reminder. They're ugly, but nobody really notices them. A little shot of the coolers again. And that's about it. So yeah, front axles, Dana 60. You can see the Arctech bracket there also. Arctech high steer arms. I use the stock location on the knuckle for my lower link. It was just the best way to work it out. I've got this high steer arm on here with nothing attached to it, but that was really helpful when I had leaf springs on it, and it's not in the way right now. PSC ram. It's a custom PSC power steering box. We'll go through that another time. It's like an 8-inch ram with an 1.5-inch bore. Really fast steering, really fun, really predictable on the highway. Radiator overflow bottle, air conditioner, and then have, again, a little shot of the wiring and the plating on the frame. And that's about it for the Jeepster. Hopefully soon we'll be getting it out in the woods and going to events and having a blast with it. So here's the rest of the shop that's been working on getting set up. Belt sander, buffer, there's 2 different wheels. One's for aluminum, one's for stainless or dirty steel. Cabinets for storage now. New bandsaw. LeBlanc Regal 13-inch lathe, 40-inch bed. Got the lathe at a pretty good deal. The crazy part's buying all the tooling for it and then learning how to make sure everything is accurate. For example, had to add about 30 thousandths of shim stock under the drill, or the whatever that thing's called, with the live center in it, just to bring it all up so everything's on the same plane, true and level. New chucks, collet set. And then here we are with the project we started with. This is the air compressor head. So these are the fittings that go on the air compressor. And you can see they sit here in the top and they protrude a whole lot. So the plan is to mill it down and then re-drill and tap it, because I got plenty of meat in there to be able to take out, and just lower these fittings in this head to be able to keep the stock assembly together and make it all nice and clean. Again, safety first, even though it's the last thing in the shop. But keep that in mind all the time. Let me know if you got any fabrication needs. Our team is growing and hope this will be a huge year for us. Thanks for watching.